The pre-check is a routine that you will carry out each time you get into the driving seat. As soon as you get into the car, ensure that all the car doors, including passenger doors, are closed properly. Your driving seat is adjusted. You should be able to press the pedals down to the floor without stretching your leg. The headrest and the backrest is adjusted so that you can reach the entire steering wheel rim. Your mirrors are adjusted. Your seatbelt is fastened. Your instrument cluster is not showing any warning light. Completing the pre-checks before every trip will help to ensure your safety and the safety of your passengers. Make sure that you are comfortably seated on your driving seat. This means that all the driving controls and switches should be within easy reach. Adjust your seat forward or backward if needed so you can comfortably reach the pedals. The adjustment lever for each front seat is located under the front of the seat. To adjust the seat position, pull up on the adjustment lever and slide the seat forward or backward. After adjustment, try to move the seat forward and backward to ensure that it is securely latched. Sit in an upright position. Do not hunch over the steering wheel or slouch in your seat, and make sure you can see over the dashboard and the steering wheel. Remember, never attempt to adjust the driving seat or the seat back while driving. The seat adjustment or the seat back could move unexpectedly, causing loss of control. Make sure that the driver's seat and the seat back are properly adjusted before you start driving. Seat belts are good help to protect occupants from injury or death in event of accidents. Drivers and front seat passengers must wear a seat belt unless they have a medical exemption certificate. Adults traveling in the rear of the car must also use seat belts if they are fitted. It is the responsibility of the adult passenger to ensure that they are using the seat belt. To fasten your seat belt, put belt across body and secure the 3-point harness in its buckle. Adjust the lower belt snugly across your lap and pelvis area, never on your stomach. Adjust the shoulder belt to fit comfortably across the collarbone and chest. It should never rub on your neck or face. Never put the shoulder belt behind your back or under your arm. Check that the belt is secure before driving. As soon as you get into the car, you must check that all the doors are firmly shut and that no bags or clothing is caught in the doors. The correct method of checking the driver's door is by grabbing the handle with the right hand and pulling it towards the seat. If you wish to get off the car, check in your mirrors and over your shoulders for approaching vehicles or people, and open the door only when the road is all clear. Head restraint provides support to the neck in case of an accident. A properly adjusted head restraint will potentially save you from a neck injury in case of an accident. In order to correctly adjust a head restraint, you should ensure that the top of the head restraint is as high as the top of your head. Position the head restraint as close to the rear of your head as possible. Once comfortable on the driving seat, you need to adjust all three of your rear view mirrors so that you get the widest view possible while keeping your blind spots to a minimum. Simply adjust the side view mirrors just beyond the point where you could see the side of the car on the inside edge of the mirror. With this step, you almost completely solve the blind spot problem. For adjusting the driver's side mirror, place the side of your head against the window, then adjust the mirror until the side of your vehicle comes into view. For adjusting the passenger side mirror while sitting in the driver's seat, lean to the left so that your head is in the car's center line. Adjust the mirror until the side of your vehicle comes into view. To adjust the center rear view, adjust the edges of the mirror to the edges of the windscreen till you can completely see the road behind. The instrument panel of the car is right behind the steering wheel. You will see a range of warning lights on your instrument panel. The main function of the instrument panel is to indicate the problems in the car. The instrument panel shows all the controls. Click on each of the controls to learn more. Charging light. This light comes on when the ignition switch is turned on and goes out when the engine is started. If the light comes on when the engine is running, the charging system should be inspected immediately. Remember, do not continue driving along when the charging light is on, as this will drain the battery dead. Fuel gauge. The fuel gauge gives an approximate indication of the amount of fuel in the fuel tank. As shown in the figure, F stands for full and E stands for empty. If the indicator gets in the red zone, refill the tank as soon as possible. Turn signal indicators. When you turn on the left and the right turn signals, the corresponding green arrow on the instrument panel will flash along with the respective turn signal lights. When you turn on the hazard warning switch, both arrows will flash along with all of the turn signal lights. Speedometer. The speedometer indicates the vehicle speed in kilometers per hour. The odometer records the total distance the vehicle has been driven, and the trip meter can be used to measure the distance traveled on short trips or between fuel stops. Remember, keep track of your odometer reading and check the maintenance schedule regularly for required services. Increased wear and damage to certain parts can result from failure to perform required services at proper mileage intervals, and your warranty rights may be affected. Parking brake indicator light. This light operates under two conditions with the ignition switch turned to the on position. 1. When the parking brake is engaged. 2. When the fluid in the brake fluid reservoir falls below the specified level. The light should go out after starting the engine and fully releasing the parking brake if the fluid in the brake fluid reservoir is adequate. If the light does not go off or comes on while you're driving, it may mean that there is something wrong with the vehicle's braking system. Malfunction light. Your vehicle has a computer-controlled emission control system. A malfunction indicator light is provided on the instrument panel to indicate when it is necessary to have the emission control system serviced. The malfunction indicator light comes on when the ignition switch is turned on and goes out when the engine is started. If the malfunction indicator light comes on when the engine is still running, there is a problem with the emission control system. Take your vehicle to a service center and have the problem corrected. Remember, continuing to drive the vehicle when the malfunction indicator light is on can cause permanent damage to the vehicle emission control system and can affect the fuel economy and the drivability. Oil pressure light. This light comes on when the ignition switch is turned on and goes out when the engine is started. The light will come on and remain on if there is insufficient oil pressure. If the light comes on when driving, pull off the road as soon as you can and stop the engine. Check the oil level and add oil if necessary. If there is enough oil, the lubrication system should be inspected before you drive the vehicle again. Tachometer. The tachometer indicates the engine speed in revolutions per minute. Never drive with the engine speed indicator in the red zone or severe engine damage can result. Temperature gauge. When the ignition is on, this gauge indicates the engine coolant temperature. Under normal driving conditions, the indicator should stay within the acceptable temperature range between H and C. If the indicator approaches H and maintains that reading, overheating is indicated. Remember, continuing to drive the vehicle when the engine overheating is indicated can result in severe engine damage. Hand controls. Ignition. The ignition switch is located in the steering column behind the steering wheel. An ignition switch has 4 positions which determine which electrical systems can be turned on and which will be turned off. The first position is off, where the car and its controls are locked. This is the default setting for any ignition system. In this position, certain electrical systems not wired to the ignition system will still function, such as the headlight, power locks, and interior lights. Turning the ignition to the right once like this brings it to the second position, where certain electrical systems can be operated without the need for the car's engine to be running. This position, for example, allows the driver to turn on the radio or adjust power windows. It helps prevent unnecessary engine idling for routine accessory functions. Turning the ignition switch once more will bring it to the third position. This position indicates that the ignition switch is on. This will activate all necessary electrical systems for starting. Dashboard indicator lights will become active, computer systems and navigational equipment should work, and all of the optional electronic systems should function. The final position is the one which matters the most for starting an engine. You must turn on the ignition key to start the car, but be sure to release it as soon as you hear the engine fire. Otherwise, you risk damage to the starter motor.
త్రీ టైమ్స్ తిప్పాలి థర్డ్ టైంకి అది స్టాప్ అవుతుంది. ఫస్ట్ టైం తిప్పితే లాక్స్ లైట్స్ అన్నీ ఆన్ అవుతాయి. సెకండ్ టైంకి రేడియో ఏదైనా డోర్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, డోర్స్ లాగేయండి ఆన్ అవుతాయి. మరి థర్డ్కి గాడి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
Steering wheel. The steering wheel of the car is in front of you. This wheel controls the car movement. That means when you turn the steering wheel in your car, the front wheels of the car turn. The steering column in a car, sometimes known as the steering shaft, is an important piece of car that allows the vehicle to turn. The steering shaft connects the steering wheel with the rest of the components that turn the wheels. The steering column's purpose is to convert power, known as torque, into power to turn the wheels. For the best steering control, hold the steering wheel with light, positive grip, placing both your hands in the 9 and 3 position. Apply pressure with your palms and thumb rather than gripping it with your fingers. Remember, both your hands should always be on the steering wheel. Never rest your right elbow on the window while driving, as this can be very dangerous. You should be able to hold the steering wheel comfortably and make full use of it without stretching. To check, Hold the steering wheel with both hands like this and check if your elbows are bent a little. If you need to adjust the back of your seat to reach the steering wheel comfortably, turn the knob at the side of the seat like this. Gear. Cars work best when the engine is turning at medium speed, not too fast, not too slow. Changing gears allows the engine to keep turning in the same speed range while the car goes from very low speeds to highway speeds. Most cars are equipped with pattern gear shift with 5 forward gear and 1 reverse gear. Study the simple diagram on the top of the gear shift, which will show you where the gears are. In most new cars, this will look like a 3-legged H. First, third, and the fifth gears are at the top of the legs. Second, fourth, and reverse gears are at the bottom. The crossbar of the H is neutral. Remember the rules of the gear. The higher your speed, the higher your gear. The lower your speed, the lower your gear. First gear is the lowest and fifth gear is the highest. Handbrake. The handbrake, also known as the emergency brake, situated to the left of the driving seat, is a latching brake usually used to keep the car stationary. The handbrake is used in case of mechanical failure where the regular foot brake is inoperable. However, the most common use for handbrake is to keep the vehicle motionless when it is parked. To apply the handbrake, push the button and pull the lever like this. Foot controls. Look at your floorboard and you will see 3 pedals. You can remember them as A, B and C. A for accelerator, B for brake and C for clutch. Accelerator. The first pedal to your right is the accelerator pedal. The accelerator pedal controls the flow of the fuel to the engine. The more you press the accelerator, the faster the car goes. To go faster or to climb hills, you will need to press the accelerator more than usual. Releasing the accelerator pedal reduces the power and the car starts to slow down. The accelerator pedal is always used by the right foot and is generally never pushed right down completely. Brake. The second pedal from the right is the brake pedal. By pressing the foot brake with your right foot, you can slow down or stop the car. We use the same right foot for both accelerator and brake pedal. So at any given point of time, you can either press the accelerator or the brake. In other words, you can either increase your car's speed or slow it down. To slow down your car, you must practice progressive braking. This means you should start pushing the brake pedal with gentle pressure and gradually increase the pressure to reduce the speed. You then gently release the pressure as soon as you reach your target speed or just before your car stops. Pushing the brake pedal switches on the brake lights at the back of your car so that the drivers behind you know that you're slowing down. Clutch. The last pedal from the right or the first pedal from the left is the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal allows you to separate the engine from the wheels. This enables the engine to keep running when the car is stationary. It is also necessary to press the clutch pedal down when changing the gear. The clutch pedal is always operated with the left foot. When pressing the clutch down, you can use one firm movement. However, when bringing the pedal up to connect the engine to the wheels, you need to have a more gentle action. By pausing momentarily, as soon as you feel the clutch engage, you will have smoother control and a reduced risk of stalling. When not operating the clutch, it is best to rest your left foot on the floor, as this will help to reduce fatigue on long journeys and will lessen the risk of premature clutch wear. Brake. The second pedal from the right is the brake pedal. By pressing the foot brake with your right foot, you can slow down or stop the car. We use the same right foot for both accelerator and brake pedal. So at any given point of time, you can either press the accelerator or the brake. In other words, you can either increase your car's speed or slow it down. To slow down your car, you must practice progressive braking. This means you should start pushing the brake pedal with gentle pressure and gradually increase the pressure to reduce the speed. You then gently release the pressure as soon as you reach your target speed or just before your car stops. Pushing the brake pedal switches on the brake lights at the back of your car so that the drivers behind you know that you're slowing down. Clutch. The last pedal from the right or the first pedal from the left is the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal allows you to separate the engine from the wheels. This enables the engine to keep running when the car is stationary. It is also necessary to press the clutch pedal down when changing the gear. The clutch pedal is always operated with the left foot. When pressing the clutch down, you can use one firm movement. However, when bringing the pedal up to connect the engine to the wheels, you need to have a more gentle action. By pausing momentarily, as soon as you feel the clutch engage, you will have smoother control and a reduced risk of stalling. When not operating the clutch, it is best to rest your left foot on the floor, as this will help to reduce fatigue on long journeys and will lessen the risk of premature clutch wear.